The inaugural ANTA, Australian National Travel Association, poster designer Gert Sellheim promoted many modernist principles and had an enormous influence over tourism within Australia between the early to mid-20th century. These posters redefined Australia and promoted all aspects and attractions within Australia. Today, this tradition is continued within advertisements made by Tourism Australia, including the Where the Bloody Hell Are You campaign. The Golden Beach's exotic flora and fauna elements that Gert Sellheim demonstrated within the 20th century are still being used today to help define Australia's identity and contribute to the way Australia is seen by locals and internationally. Throughout this film, I will explore the way in which the ANTA posters, especially the designer Gert Sellheim, used modernist design elements and principles within his posters for promotional purposes, which became widely recognised as well as influencing Australia's cultural identity. This film will also demonstrate the similarities between Gert Sellheim's recognisable and attractive posters that many contemporary advertising companies, including Tourism Australia, take inspiration from through the progression of modernism. Gert Hugo Emanuel Sellheim was born on the 31st of December 1901 in Estonia, which was then part of the Russian Empire. After fighting in the Estonian War, Sellheim and his family moved to Germany. Gert then studied architecture in Berlin, Munich, Graz, Vienna and Paris, in which he worked in many various different studios. After World War II, Gert decided to leave his family for a more rewarding life, travelling to London for 2 months and then travelling to Jervis Bay the same year. Sellheim moved to Melbourne and opened up his own architectural, industrial and commercial art studio, and within a year he was creating posters for the ANTA. In 1939, Sellheim won the Sir John Sulman Prize for the decoration of the interior of the Victorian Government Tourist Bureau's building in Collins Street. Sellheim designed a sundial and painted murals for Newburn Flats, Queens Road and South Melbourne in 1941. Sellheim also collaborated with Oswald Ziegler, producing a variety of commemorative books, including Australia 1788 to 1938. These books produced by Sellheim were extremely unusual for the 1930s to 40s and were very inventive for this time, more so promoting his modernism within the 20th century. Sellheim's most famous posters included Australia Surf Club and Corroboree Australia. Both of these posters included hard edges, coloured lithographs that revealed Sellheim's European training, which included the influence of Cubism. Sellheim's informal Cubism creates a feel of place rather than the physical depiction of it, which demonstrates pure modernism, contrasting with many traditional designers who do not demonstrate a modern Australia. Gert Sellheim was known for producing many Aboriginal Australian posters as a motif. He proved that out of his country's strange and wonderful past they can draw endless inspiration. Sellheim's use of Aboriginal motifs was used to create a brand for Australia, as he sought to represent the idea that Aboriginals were removed from their homeland and were introduced into white Australian culture. He informs tourists about Aboriginal culture and provides them with information about their lives and their presence, contrasting with other designers who just ignored their culture. Sellheim informed tourists to change their understanding to something positive, promoting social change for Aboriginals living within Australia in the 20th century. Before painting the large photo montage mural in 1938 for dramatic floor graphics and window display, Sellheim admired many Aboriginal designs when he arrived in Australia. He saw the ceiling beams painted with many Aboriginal patterns by George Benson, and by the year of 1939 he made a study of Aboriginal art and was regarded as an authority in the field. Sellheim advanced significantly with the types of materials he was using for other projects after the decrease in work that came from poster creation. Sellheim engraved stylized animals into printed ochre panels for his book 150 Years Australia. He was always looking forward and advancing the use of different techniques and materials to modernize design within the 20th century. He experimented with many new technologies such as photo montage, forms, images, and themes that were very recognizable and shaped a visual language within all of his posters and projects. However, Sellheim's most influential work were his ANTA posters, which included double-page spreads that show photo montages, European Cubism, and colored lithographs, which contrasted drastically with other designers from the ANTA, setting him aside from other conventional and traditional illustrations depicting his modernism. Gert Sellheim, through his posters, promoted a sense of social change for Aboriginals within Australia in the 20th century. Sellheim was employed to produced posters and many other graphic projects to visualise Australia's fast evolution from the Aboriginal people and the arrival of the first fleet to form a modern nation. These posters and projects provoked social change as they informed tourists about Aboriginal culture as well as the evolution of Australia's technology and land. Sellheim protected the Aboriginal race through his posters depicting symbols and motifs to create the Australian life, while also being culturally appropriate. Not only were Sellheim's Aboriginal projects developing a new perspective on the Aboriginal culture, it changed the way people viewed their culture. But his Qantas logo and many of his posters included the underlying idea of terra nullius, meaning nobody's land, provoking the creation of social change for Aboriginals even further. The Where the Bloody Hell Are You campaign was produced by Tourism Australia in 2006 to promote travel for domestic and international tourism. Tourism Australia aims to disperse campaigns and advertisements worldwide to ensure travel to Australia, to deliver benefits to regional and major cities for economic growth. Where the Bloody Hell Are You campaign demonstrates the truth regarding Australia as a country. It depicts the personalities and lifestyles of Australians, and it was created to demonstrate the brand of Australia to be welcoming and attractive for tourists. The campaign uses modern Australian experiences and provides a unique welcome which is a genuine and honest representation of Australians. However, the use of modern-day principles through focusing on the physical beauties of Australia and the Australian lifestyle, as well as iconic Australian imagery, caused great controversy. The tagline had acquired great amounts of discussion and fuss. However, the main reason this campaign caused backlash was that it was not promoting Australia to be a modern society. It only promoted the stereotypical ideas of Australia, being the promotion of kangaroos and girls in bikinis. Part of the tagline was banned in Canada, the UK, and Singapore. It was banned in the UK for using the word bloody, banned in Canada for using the word hell, and changed to the innocuous "So where are you" in Singapore. Today, within contemporary Australia, cultural appropriation and controversy surrounding culture and religion is heightened as the world has become more politically interested, therefore spiking further discussions and arguments. Gert Sellheim influenced contemporary designers including Tourism Australia within society today as he introduced the idea of perceiving Aboriginal people to be a part of white Australia in the 20th century. Therefore, designers today, including the Where the Bloody Hell Are You campaign, consists of many aspects of Aboriginal culture that was pronounced in the 20th century, and today it is immersed and absorbed into Australian culture. Many of the scenes within the advertisement demonstrates open, vast land that was introduced by Gert Sellheim in the 20th century, with his iconic Australian landmarks which illustrate a vast open space that can be visited and settled. Moreover, Gert Sellheim opened the idea of portraying Aboriginal culture and land in a positive light, instead of the traditional and oppressing views. Where the Bloody Hell Are You campaign promotes a vast open land for travellers and would not be a form of advertisement if Gert Sellheim did not promote this through the ANTA posters. Therefore, today's advertising ideas, perspectives and conclusions would not be available without Gert Sellheim, who promoted aspects of Australia, its attractions, cultures and vast open land. Ultimately, Gert Sellheim provided a modern promotion of Australia and influenced travellers from all over the world. Gert Sellheim demonstrated contrasting and modern ideas of Australian attractions to other traditional designers, providing future advertising perspectives and ideas. Gert Sellheim influenced all aspects of graphic design. He produced modern and forward-thinking posters.